Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BETSPERTS. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor. And I have to be honest, Andy, I was getting a little bummed out. It's been like a couple weeks since we hit a first touchdown score, but Gerald Everett, love it.
I love winning on a guy named Gerald. I don't know how that many. There's not that many Geralds in the world anymore. I feel like no, it was a good day. If you took out my Tulsa pick, it was a pretty good day. We hit that. My Prize Picks entry, despite the fact that Russell Wilson clearly was not right, he still managed to. I think he needed like 50 or 60 yards on his last drive to get his yardage prop, and he got all of 80, like whatever they ended up getting. And then yes, the Oral Roberts, boy, Max Abmas just decided to shoot like 7 for 13 from three, and the rest is history. Although Drew did talk me into live betting it when we did our day late dollar short deep dive and ended up making a little bit money back. How did NBA go? I feel like the
Pretty good.
Rockets under was never in doubt. Like that cleared by a few 3 pointers. The Spurs, did they win?
Outright.
Outright. We had them plus 3.5. And then the Clippers team total was 109 and they scored 104 and you had the under. So a NBA sweep, a Monday Night Football first touchdown scorer, a prize picks winner, and you know what? I'm just gonna call it a bad beat by Tulsa. You're just getting off the ground. They took some leads in the second half. It just wasn't meant to
It's
be
a
with
tough
the
start.
3 point shooting. 3 point shooting we saw. Never bet against Oral. Ugh, I know. The jokes write themselves. It was fun. It was fun sweating a basketball game. And honestly, like of the live positions I took, one of them was plus seven and a
Did it feel?
half.
I was gonna say, did it
And
feel good to have it back?
kind of. I assumed so I had a 7.5 and an 8.5, and it was kind of close late. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna lose both of these in overtime. Like that's how this goes. Like they're gonna lose by 10 in overtime. And then I will field a quick question even before we get into segments here. Does Tiger win another tournament? Interview was tough to hear him talk about never being able to play a full season again. I think he's probably just resigned to he's already been doing that. It's not like he's playing the full slate of tournaments even before. Like he's gonna play the ones he wants to. He'll play this Hero World Challenge next year. It's his tournament. He'll play some West Coast stuff. He'll play the majors. It's gonna make that win at St. Andrews even sweeter. Like I'm ready for it. He's he's gonna put one weekend together. I really probably would highly caution you against betting on him ever again. His numbers are always been inflated and it sucks, but I feel like he can string together one weekend. I don't even care if it's like the
Yeah,
RBC.
it's
One more win.
it's still in there, and you know that again. If the body isn't able, the mind is going to keep pushing him anyway. I mean, just his unbelievable drive leads me to believe we might get one more. I mean, yeah, it's. I think obviously the smarter thing to say it won't happen, but I'm certainly not going to count out anybody that's been willing to go through everything he's gone through the last 2 years, 5 years, 10 years to continue to try to be a professional golfer when he easily could have walked away, saved his body a lot of trouble, saved a lot of time and effort, but he continues to fight back. So I'm certainly not going to bet against him.
And he plays well enough, like a place like Augusta. He can play well enough you know, to win there again. It's certainly tougher, and these these younger golfers are adding a lot to the field. We'll get to one of them. Let's get to one of them right now. The Hero World Challenge. I
Yeah.
mentioned it. This is not a real tournament. This is dumb. But there are matchups. There are props. There are group bets. There are obviously outrights. And if you go over to some market making books like Chris, Morikawa is favored. He is the solo favorite there. He's right around 7-1. I found some 8.5 on him. This is mostly just a bet against Data Golf, who ranked him tragically low in their rankings right now. Had him behind some other golfers. I don't think we kind of panned them for that. And I just, I mean, take a punt here if you really want to bet this one. I'm just going to take some Morikawa. He's playing as well as anybody. I don't know about some of the motivations for this one. It's not a points event. It's not. It's more of a go out there and beat some of the better golfers in the world at a weird time in the year. I think some of these guys aren't in the full mind. What the mind frame is that a word?
Mind frame,
Mind
mindset.
frame, the frame of mind to go out there and really be super competitive despite being the most competitive golfers in the world. So Morikawa at the Hero World Challenge probably won't play any matchups, probably won't do any first round leader, any shenanigans like that. This probably just my only bet. I did take a I lied already. Fuck, I lied to you guys. I feel bad. I did bet the uh, Morikawa finishes first, Hovland finished second, exacta at 80 to 1 as well. You can
I
get a
like that.
Quinella at 40 to 1 if you either or, which is just an exacta box if you guys want to do horse racing with golfers. But yeah, East Coast slash Pistol Pete. Let's go. Morikawa, West Coast, excuse me. He was a California kid. All right. And then last night on the deep dive, I said we're gonna do some hoops with noops in the morning, and I just laughed because I never said those words out loud. And now Dan made it into a segment. So back to the NBA. Hopefully all sides. I want to bet some sides today. What do you got?
Oh, we got a bunch of stuff. Hoops with Noops. I like it. It's something I thought about using before. The boys on You Better You Bet say it from time to time. But a bunch of totals today, Andy. We've only got 4 or 5 games in this here. And I'm feeling a little bit underfull in these first 2 games. Actually, I guess these are the later games. Lakers and Kings under 227. This was a game close 229 about 3-4 days ago and ended up going over, but they needed 2, even 3 overtimes there. Honestly, the game finished at 104 quarters. I get 227 again here. A little concerned that maybe LeBron James out, which if he does, miss the pace will pick up. But even then, for 224 with LeBron out, 221 with LeBron in. So a really nice under spot here for me. And what I think should be a slow, clunky game again. It's missing Harrison Barnes, who drive a lot of their offensive output. Warriors, Suns, again, 2 defensive teams pretty solid on the defensive end. Should be a very tight game. These are 2 teams I think that are really going to be trying to kind of match up with each other, get a really good look at one another, because we're looking at a potential Western Conference Finals series between these 2 teams. Those are generally good for unders. I have the total of about 217 myself, 2-8, tweak some things. So like that anyway. And then Raptors, Grizzlies overs. This is something we've been joking about in our NBA chat for a little while. For whatever reason, someone is going in every day and just kind of hammering Raptors unders for the last 3-4 games. Overs have been 2-1, I think 3-1 spots. This was an edge I had. I was planning on playing the over this morning when it was, I think, at like 219, 220. It's all the way down to 216 and a half. So it's always really nice to wait and let the market push down, give us a little bit of better numbers. So going to take the full game over 216 and a half, as well as the first quarter over. The Raptors specifically have been a higher scoring team in the first halves of games. The first half number, maybe a little bit of an edge if you have a 105 and a half, but this first quarter here at 52 and a half, even 53 looks really nice. There's some 52 and a halves out there if you hunt around, but some really nice over spots here. So 4 totals for us tonight in the association, Andy.
I'm down. Yeah, like I said, not a bit of an auspicious start with Tulsa giving up 1,000,000 points. Again, I said this last night. If you told me they scored 77, I'd have been feeling pretty good. Like they scored a bunch. It's just couldn't get the defense going. I have a bunch more games today. I'm still betting these fairly lightly as I'm testing out the new numbers, making sure everything's in in play and working out. The back testing is kind of tricky when you're using some priors and trying to figure out these teams have only played 4, 5, 6, 7 games. But I did play a bunch today just because getting back to my roots as a volume player. I mean, even the first year I did college hoops, I didn't start till January 1st, and I made like 300 bets. And granted, there are literally like 5,000 games in a season. That's not that much volume, but I did play a bunch today. East Carolina, I don't really know how much I have to say about these. Like I said, a lot of this is just my running my numbers and playing what it gives me. East Carolina's been fine against teams that are worse than them. They lost to Oklahoma, they lost to Davidson. Those teams are clearly better than them. They get a nice spot here against Old Dominion. They're at home. My number makes this a lot higher than this, so I will be laying, 6 with East Carolina. Kind of the same thing with UNC. Also, they are the Pirates. That is just a solid. I've always liked that one. UNC
It is fun.
Greensboro My Spartans, same kind of thing, playing a team that's clearly below them in Elon. Um, haven't really been forcing turnovers. I'm kind of worried about that. But a couple of the other things I do like about them, as far as it is a slower paced team, I worry about that sometimes with these being a favorite, but I make this closer to 6. Detroit Mercy, I'm kind of coming back against the market. This was a 4 or 5. I want to say earlier when it did open. Detroit Mercy has not won a game this year. I don't know that they win this game. I just don't make it quite out to 6.5. This got bet up. Northeastern has played fine. Northeastern has played, yeah, maybe not the best schedule. Obviously, Colorado State's good. The Harvard loss was a little concerning. I guess it was away, but just in the manner they lost it. And again, Detroit Mercy hasn't won yet, but again, they've played a lot of tough teams. They actually played nothing. If you go on like KenPom, it's nothing but A and B teams at this point. Like they've played a lot of not a lot of Power Five, but Mississippi State and Louisville are very good teams, and you should get shit canned by them, despite you know. I'm not sure what their ATS record is. I don't really take that into account all that much. Next would be SIU Edwardsville, not to be confused with Southern Illinois. This is a different Illinois. This is the Ohio Valley team. They play Omaha. Omaha is stinky.
Southern Illinois isn't enough.
This is anybody who reads like Dan's um DGen corner for college football when he puts those articles up on the site. This is like that. These are really, really, really low ranked teams. Nebraska Omaha is one of my worst teams. Like I have them so close to the bottom, but it's not like SIU Edwardsville is that much higher. I do make this closer to 3 or 4, even being in Omaha. I think this is in Omaha. St. Louis, the Billikens. This is about as high up as I go. Like this is almost a major conference here in the Atlantic 10. I like this team quite a bit. Boise State getting a little bit too much love early in the season, and I think a lot of it was just maybe some offensive rebounding and a few other metrics here where I make Louisville closer to a pick. I read your DGen corner, Dan. And then here's the real stinky one to close it up with. Long Beach State Dub All Stars, hitting 20. Long Beach State isn't good. I think they're better, obviously better than SIU Edwardsville, but Long Beach State is a really tough test. At San Diego, San Diego's very good. San Diego might sneak its way into the top 25 here by the time the season's over. They've scheduled a meat grinder though. They have a Michigan up next. Granted, it's not till Saturday. I don't know how much of a look ahead spot that is traveling to Ann Arbor, but I don't quite get this out to 20 despite the big gap in talent here. And there are a few things that are a little troubling. San Diego State not shooting as well as I thought they would be this year. And it looks, again, USC is really good. They lost USC. That's a really good team, but he only scored 43 points there. And I don't know if their shooting is where it needs to be to get us to a 20-point win there. And yeah, who was it that played Academy of the Arts? Or should we fade Academy of the Arts at this point? I'm not sure they're putting lines up for that.
That's
I can't even remember who. UC Davis. Yeah, UC Davis isn't ranked very highly for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk a guest into filling some time for us. We don't have tennis really this week. We don't have golf hardly. I might have to let's talk after the show. Maybe we'll get some more college football talk this week because it is a really big week for college football with championship weekend. You have all of them. We're just going to put the good ones up on the board because I don't think any of the group of 5 besides the Cincinnati Houston has any ranked teams. The MAC championship is pretty bad. But Oregon, Utah on Friday, and then the rest of them on Saturday. Baylor, Oklahoma, Georgia at Bama, of course. The aforementioned Houston, Cincy, Iowa, Michigan, and Wake Forest, Pittsburgh at night. Iowa, Michigan at night. Man, that's going to put me to sleep. I don't have any takes on any of these yet. I think we might do like a staff pick 'em. But yeah, definitely a guest. And also, I should mention too, obviously we'll have Falik on Friday to talk about these. We'll try to get a guest in here maybe tomorrow or Thursday to talk a little bit. The college show, The letter winners that usually go on Saturday morning are going to do a Friday afternoon show to try to get into all these. Myself and Matoy will probably talk about a few of these games in the markets when I bring him on to talk about some what he's looking at it from the bookmaker side of bookmaker. That's like a bookmaker and a tomato mixed up, a bookmaker's point of view. So we'll have plenty of college stuff this week. Did you bet any of these yet, Noobs? I mean, you're kind of like me. If you see somebody put out like, "Hey, this is I'm
No,
betting this," and they're a market
it's
maker, like I'll tail people on shit, but I don't make markets on college football for sure.
yeah, I haven't seen anything from too many other people. Kind of first blush here. I kind of want to lay a bigger number with Georgia. It does seem like this whole year is sort of building up to Georgia just waxing Alabama here. Like, I wonder what minus 13.5 is, minus 13, something like that. I'll probably play that for fun. But as usual, we'll listen to what Mr. Felica has to say and a couple other smart people. And you and I'll take credit for their work.
Yeah, I've seen people that I trust, that I respect on both sides of that game, and I think the people that are betting on Alabama are the dummies. I'm full UGA at this point. Like, man, it's like it's an NFL defensive line at some point. It's like it's scary. And the way that Alabama did not handle business last week makes me really worried. It'd be a real shame if maybe Bryce Young hurt his ankle in the first quarter and that Heisman candidacy just went
Oh, let's not do
completely
that.
off the rails. I will cheer for injuries when money's involved. I'd like to think I'm above it. I'm not. Never have been. I cheer for injuries all the time. TJ Watt, hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he is, his body is fighting the COVID, but if he had to miss a couple of weeks, so be it. Myles Garrett will be there every week taking those offensive lines to town. Tailgate tent to talk. Yeah, we should have the tailgate tent on. I like that guy. All right. Well, Alex, I'll let you go enjoy some more time away from Philly. Any minute you can get out of Philly is a good minute for you, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more basketball.